Hello friends, I'm Vivek Atray. Today I'm going to talk about common Indian errors. हम सभी कुछ गलतियां करते हैं, लेकिन अगर कोई लैंग्वेज यूज कर रहे हैं तो उसे अच्छी तरह यूज करना ठीक है. We have to use a language properly. If it is our own language like Hindi or any other regional language, we have to write it correctly, speak it correctly. A common mistake even in Hindi is kripaya, which is please. Kripaya is written with a half per, whereas it is a full per. All over the country, signboards say kripya, 50% of them at least. Andaz and andaza, commonly used Hindustani Urdu words, are often confused with each other. But today I'm talking about English. When we use a language, we have to make a correct usage of the language. Now, for example, let's start with some simple ones. Often people say Mr. Vivek, Mr. Suresh, Mrs. Ramona. They have to say Mr. Atray, Mr. Sharma, Mrs. Singh. You can't put a title with the first name. The second one is myself so-and-so. This is for youngsters especially. And youngsters are the real recipients of this information or knowledge that I'm trying to give through this video. But older people can also learn if they like to. So myself so-and-so is wrong. Say I am Vivek. My name is Vivek. That's how you introduce yourself. A very common error that grown-up people make as well, very senior people make as well, even CEOs make it at times, is the difference between advice and advise. I've noticed this a lot of times. Please advise is wrong. Please advise is correct. Please advise, which is the verb. Advise is the verb. Advice is a noun. So we have to make sure that we use the correct word. One more common mistake which has crept up into the Indian lexicon and usage in the last few years especially. Few points are here under. It should be a few points. The A has to be used. A few people came to the lecture. Not few people came to the lecture. It means the opposite. We have to be careful. Then, return back, revert back. Back is not required. Very common mistake, but important to be correct as far as possible. Then, a very common usage, son-in-laws, daughter-in-laws. This is wrong. Sons-in-law, daughters-in-law is correct. Then, one of my friend lives in Delhi is wrong. One of my friends, one of my colleagues, one of my uncles. You have to use the plural when you say one of. Then, a very common one is mistaking ver and were. So Vivek is like ver. If you watch my lips, ver. And wherewithal is were. That means we say window. We say volume. It's a different usage. Window, volume. So if there's a word like wind vane, which has W as well as V, wind vane. So there's a difference in pronunciation which we really need to practice if we want to perfect it. One of the words which our parents have taught us, many parents have taught their children across the land, and it is okay for older people to use it even today, but younger people who are getting into professions or are professionals, they often use this word. The vessel on the table, the donga, which contains your fare for eating, a sabzi, that vessel is not known as a bowl. The bowl, it's like bowling in cricket. Bowl, B-O-W-L is bowl. It's not bowl. Then Olympic Games, Olympics. The Olympics are going to take place in Japan in 2021. Instead of 2020, we know why. But the point is, Hindi may we say Olympic Khel. But here we say Olympic Games, Olympic, right? Then take an exam, not give an exam. I went to give an exam? No. I went to write an exam or I went to take an exam. Quite simple. My wife, who's a principal of a toddler school, she says many others, they use this a lot. A lot is two words. A lot. We can't say a lot as one word. That becomes something different. It means a lot something. But then the spellings are different. And then Indians, because we use it in Hindi like that, when will you do this is correct. When you will do this is wrong. When you will do this is not correct. When will you do this is correct usage. These are very simple examples. I don't want to get into too many technicalities. I'm not an English teacher, I'm an engineer. And I don't feel that we need to be perfect. But if we can improve certain common errors, we'll be better off in our careers, especially those of you who have your careers still ahead of you. Those of you who are already much into their careers can perhaps look back and see that I was okay even using advice and advice. I would not advise them to change unless they have to. I don't want to give any more advice. I'm happy with what we've discussed today, and I think these little things can improve our careers because our communication skills are absolutely vital. And to make everyone feel better, let me tell you that I make a blunder many a time. Many a time, not many a times. And that blunder is not this one, but when we say something in Hindi, we say, mere baal geele hain. And then I say, they are wet. And my wife tells me, no, it is wet, not they are wet. So I'm in the same club. We all need to improve. Let's keep improving. Let's keep reading books. Let's keep speaking, practicing our oratory and writing skills, and trying to improve as communicators. That's the key. Plus, as I always say, even if you don't say a word, just smile. It adds luster to your personality. Happy speaking, happy writing, happy living. All the best.